I'm really excited about though is to see, because this is going to be like a really op-friendly map, is seeing how well Smiths is able to perform here. Oh my god, did someone get in the server again? Someone got in the server again. How does this password keep getting out?
Have they literally named the password like password or something?
It's gotta, be something like really easy.
Like Hurridur password? At least we don't have the guy who couldn't spell famous, right, Join?
I mean, that might be him, to be honest.
That probably is.
What is his name? Hold on.
It's
always fun. I'm the real Scream Trash Meh.
I'm the real Scream Trash. Nice. Stay classy.
I'm amazed we haven't had like that XP3 meme yet, where it's like XP3, he is the French stars, or the one I don't even get. Something of that nature.
Right, are we actually live here?
I honestly have no clue what's live and isn't live at this point. They both have just melded into one horrendous like thing called Counter-Strike.
I think we're live, judging by the players' positions and how they're approaching it.
Oh,
this
it's
is
AZK,
live.
that's the thing.
Headshot from Shocks along from Carrigan. They did see a second player there though. And that second player was Zibex, about to be joined by Cajun B. Shocks may very well go for this repeat again, and actually lands the headshot. Existence comes in to finish it off. He's looking for a second one. Titan are starting well here, but Smiths is low. And of course the USP can get those one taps from long range, so you can't count out XTSM just yet. As Titan looks to barrel down long. 2 players strong with the bomb coming through from short.
They moved up onto it now. And again, the CTs have been boxed out for the most part here, but Zipnix, oh, that's actually a great nade from Zipnix too. Completely shuts down Smiths, and then he finds another pop shot there too, shutting out Shocks. They're bringing this round back into their control. We still have no bomb plant coming out yet either, but Zipnix getting a little bit possibly too aggressive here, getting himself into a duel with Existence. And Device moving in, shuts out Scream. It's just Existence now trying to hold this. Just one more shot to take down Devi, but he's not going to be able to find it. They're pushing into him now, but they are running out of time. Thankfully, they've got the kit. Existence just moving into this one now, and this is getting so close. What is happening right now? They haven't killed him yet. Finally, they do it. And they should have just enough time to defuse this bomb, thankfully.
Yep, they'll be able to defuse that bomb. So a big retake from TQM. Nicely done by them. And that was looking so good for Titan, but they were 2 players up, I believe. They got the 2 frags on long. We're looking great for that, but instead, they just kind of bow up. So, are they going to just save up here and go for the AKs? On train, they went for the Tech 9s with the armors. This time it's going to be Deagle. Makes a lot of sense. Dust 2 is the kind of map where long range kind of prevails. Those Deagles can definitely land into the foreheads of TQM members. Let's see if they can get anything done here, Blue. We have seen a lot of Deagle headshots today. In both the best of 3s.
Like both these teams too have been playing with the Deagles. I think definitely Titan way more than TQM, but it's been a real Wild West party as far as the Juan shots are concerned. I'm sorry, I'll stop trying. So Titan taking it nice and slow here now. Specifically Scream working his way out, but there's not a whole lot of resistance immediately outside of middle. The nearest sentiment's going to come from Deve back over here. And with that flash, it's actually going to force plenty of the players on Titan back now. As the actual combat begins, Cajun's going to pick up the first kill, shutting down Smiths. They're still not really working their way out past mid, but there's Existence with a nice Deagle headshot. Takes down Zipnix. Devi does find another one on his Scream. So unfortunately, Titan again, it's sort of that same problem that we were seeing back on Train 2, where they try to make this amount of progress, but ultimately they're just getting trades back and forth, and for the most part are leaving a disadvantage without trading out any map control for it either. So they're getting a couple kills, but they're losing so many players, they're not gaining any momentum to actually get onto a site and get the bomb down either. So TQM are still pretty much in full control of the map right now, and that's ultimately the big problem that Titan have to work against.
It can all change in the blink of an eye, though. If one of those cheeky 1Ds lands, then the whole dynamic of this round could potentially shift on its head. And there we go. RPK has connected it onto Cajun B. It's going to open up the A site, especially if Carragher goes down and he has to RPK's hands. The bomb will now go onto the site, and things have just got a whole lot more interesting. RPK with his 3rd one tap. Unbelievable. You beast.
Can they get
and
a chance
also Deva. And he easily goes down. RPK, please, just have my children right now. I don't even care. Have them.
So there we have it now. RPK shutting things down, being that very big player that we've seen him actually go and become in quite a few of these maps so far, and quite a few of these rounds, I should say, so far in this set. So he's going to continue that, completely upsetting the balance, but TQM, similarly to many of the halves we've had so far, do not want to get stricken back against without trying to fight for it. So they'll go for their own set of force spies here. We'll see what they can work with. Starting off, though, not going too well. Scream's going to be able to find a nice little headshot there. Shuts out Zipnix, but Kerrigan waiting around the corner there. He grabs two. Scream did take down KGB, and his existence follows it up with a shot to Kerrigan. But still, a lot of losses coming in. This is not a safe scenario as of yet here for the guys on Titan.
It's definitely not safe. CZs with Kevlar behind them are still very potent setups. And Deva is looking up to short, and Shox is there. He's trying to peek through. He thinks maybe someone's still lurking in the shadows of that smoke. Not the case. The bomb is now moving up towards long A. And that grenade is going to do almost half damage to Dupree. He's down to 52 now. The flashes come on in. That's going to isolate the remaining CT player, which is Deva. Actually, he's relocated now. He's already pushed through mid onto short. The question is, are TQM interested in trying to retake this site, or do they just want to keep the CZs with the armors now that they've got the AK-47? I feel like saving here is probably the correct decision.
That's going to be exactly what they'll do now, because now they can actually... So they can toss the CZ over to another teammate, and he can save with armor or something like that. They can actually still get a fairly competent buy. Well, that's what they have left over here now. And for Titan, of course, it's still very early on in the map, so like letting them take like a 2 or 3 round lead is not going to be the worst thing in the world. Especially if they can save some money and still do some economical damage in the next round by saving a rifle or two.
From the positions they're already set up for exit frags as well, so let's see if they can get a second AK in that, or if Titan will intelligently just kind of sit in their positions. It seems they're just going to sit there. They're happy enough, they're content enough with what they got from that. So, TQM are going to have the AK and the CZ. Are they going to force buy behind that, though? Or are they just going to go for upgraded pistols? I think it's going to be upgraded pistols only.
Pistols, I think.
Yeah. We have seen a lot, though, in both the best of threes that we've casted today, that both teams very happy to force buy these kind of situations. But I feel that's probably the smarter thing overall on CT side of Dust too.
Normally, those force buys have sort of been out of desperation, though, that we've seen. Like, they either want to try to keep the game close when they're coming up on a half, or they want to obviously, like, prevent loss or something like that, is when they've gone for the force buys. So it hasn't been like that they've just been doing it by choice. It's just been a lot of the time they've been doing it by necessity for the most part, of trying to either keep a game close or prevent an outright loss.
Just tapping through mid this screen. Dupree is there. And this may not prove to be the most fruitful of endeavours for Dupree, because the firepower is going to be stacked in Titan's hands, especially if a second AK starts ripping on through the doors. So he does back himself away. I guess the good news, though, for TQM is that if Dupree does fall, Devo also has the Kevlar as well, so he can just pick up the AK-47, or if Dupree gets too low, he can just drop it for his teammate, and then he can start ripping on with it as well. But Titan are playing this extremely slow right now. Just starting to push into mid. The bomb's dropped on short, so don't expect too much action just yet.
So Dupree's holding back, actually, because that light post in the way, he's not actually able to spot existence just as of yet, but he's fired some shots now, and he's going to spot him, and that's a very quick headshot that comes out. Smith, though, gets the response, but doesn't last very long at all. Zipnix is able to trade with his USP. Shock's waiting for more aggression to come out from the CTs, and he finds it. He's able to shut down Kerrigan. They've got the bomb sitting down back over here on Cat 2, but they're going to spot that play from a mile away. They know there's a presence coming in. KGP can get ready for this. He's already been able to hold things off very well before, and that's just going to be another player that just ripped to the floor. RPK, now the last one alive in a 1 versus 3, and he's boxed in here on Cat.
Yeah, time's ticking against him as well. 5 seconds left or thereabouts. Doesn't have enough time to get onto the site. Again, though, it comes to the question, is he going to die before time or afterwards? Ooh, that was right on the mark. I'm not actually sure there. Let's look at his economy. It was after time, yeah.
Yep.
Ripper.
Ripper.
Ripperoonie.
Ripperoo. So for Titan, they're still going to force up here just simply because, again, they want to try to keep their lead going as strong as they possibly can. And also, with the money that's left over, they're still able to get like a CZ force up here. It's just going to be a little bit lower in utility. But with the way Titan has been playing, and again, I don't think this utility is going to be a big mark against these guys just because they've been playing this very straightforward, too. It's something that doesn't necessarily require all that much utility to work it successfully. Whereas TQM, again, there's been some holes in their defense, but for the most part, on a lot more of the obvious angles that we often see T's pushing, especially towards the middle there, TQM have actually been doing a very good job of holding the defense of that through some very impressive cross spray angles.
I wonder if we're going to see the smokes into mid and then a push out through mid. Often with this kind of weaponry, that would make the most sense. We want to get as close as possible. Pushing through short with a Cz's, like, not necessarily the best of options. But Smith's getting picked off in mid. At least gives RPK an AK-47, and he is going to rip on through the Devon. Didn't lose that much at Chimney, only 22 in total. Still a smoke in play. CT has been smoked off. And you can see there that Dupree is isolated all by himself on the island of B. So Zipex is desperate to get close. And in doing so, he could play himself in a bad position. Gets entried from RPK. It is a straight off avenging frag from Existence. But still, Shoxy's going to be coming through long now. And he has landed the headshot onto Carrigan. 30 seconds left. He can hit the second frag.
Look at Dupree. Dupree's moving off the B site, too. It's going to be completely open when he walks into this one. He realizes it now, and he may actually be able to survive RPK, but missing that first connection is going to be very, very pitiful. However, now RPK is stuck in a 1 versus 2, but Dupree has no utility to actually safely work his way back in. Because as soon as he hears anything, he could have just stopped the plant. It's gone down. The timer's begun. And he's going to wait for his teammate to roll back in here. RPK doesn't have anything to defend himself either, so he's just going to have to play with this one. And oh, some team damage coming out there. RPK finds 1, but thankfully Cajun B is able to trade it back out before any further damage can be done. And before we see a huge clutch from Titan again.
Man, for a second there, it seemed like both the CT players lined up for him. And I was thinking, RPK, he didn't just pull off a ridiculous clutch. He didn't. But it's still quite ballsy of him to actually hold down on that plant and go for it outright. I think he assumed that with the players being split up, that the B defender, Dupree, who came off the site, would probably wait for his teammate, which is the correct call. So at least they get the bomb plant as a result. And Shock's going for the AWP buy. Interesting. Didn't work. RIP.
Cajun shutting it down at the beginning, and then following it up with a molly application there, and actually, ooh, almost catches Smiths as he wanted to fall back there with the op, and just barely is able to escape with 11 HP. Not really going to give him a whole lot of freedom to peek back out again, as he's going to have to basically have these shots pre-aligned for himself in order to pick up anything, unless he just wants to take huge risks, which honestly is not completely out of the picture. We saw him do it in the last map quite a few times, where he just went, you know, with 1 HP, he goes for a peek and takes down an additional player without any consequences either. So having this low HP, although it's definitely going to hurt him in the long run of things, not going to be the most detrimental thing. And actually, it looks like they are just going to toss the op over to RPK, as that'll be the much safer option anyway.
So Existence now has the op in his hands. Where is he peering through? He's going to be taking point on short. He's going in to have a quick peek right now. I think Zipex has heard the movement just above his head. And gets the headshot onto Existence. So there is the AWP dead and buried. No real need for Cajun B there, who was at the back of the site as well. So they almost had like this double stack, but Smith just runs straight in. P250 running headshot gets traded out from Zipex. He tries to drop into the pit. And that probably is the hopes and dreams of Titan in this round, somewhat subsiding.
So, Devi's playing around with the mid doors there a little bit. Not sure if they fully realize this push is going to be coming back out over here towards Cat as of yet, but now they know, as RPK's been lit up like a candlestick there. He's down to 11 HP. It's just Scream, and it'll be Devi that comes in to finish him off there. No more damage being done by Titan, and TQM now having a very solid lead about themselves and starting to grow up their economy a little bit here too, finally in a somewhat secure position. But Titan, not broken yet, still able to go after this save, of course, into another buy, which could just bring us right back down to ground zero here for TQM in terms of building up that economy, as they still have a long way to go to get themselves to a safe point, which is one of the big goals of playing on the CT side and really dominating it to begin with.
Yeah, we see that Shocks because he went for the AWP last round, because he had the perfect spawn to actually peek out along, so I can understand why he went for it overall. But now he's starting to feel the pain with just a Tech 9. I say just a Tech 9. In his hand, it's still a very potent weapon, but they'd like to have an additional AK-47 for short. And pretty much standard Dust 2 play here from the terrorists. You don't want to be rushing in too soon. Oh, that flashbang isn't fantastic though. Bounces off the wall back into the face of the terrorists. Decent stack up here as well from TQM. Actually vacating B completely to just peer into mid. Have full confidence that the tunnel push wouldn't come in. And that would be the correct call right now.
So Zipex is going to catch the cat play there, but ultimately can't really do much, or I should say the rest of TQM can't really do much about it besides getting aggressive against it. And that's exactly what Cajun's going to decide to do here. He moves forward, he's able to take down Shocks, and again, they go towards middle, but much like Train, this is very one-dimensional from Titan. They've done this plenty of times before. However, well, it's okay. Existence kind of walks through the smoke, and Devi doesn't notice it at first, but Existence doesn't notice Devi either. So Devi's able to get a very easy kill on him. Scream with a good response, and then RPK with the pickup on the site itself does give them control. And now they've got something to work with here to maybe pick up another round on this T side as they finally shifted away from that sort of archaic, either going for counters, pushing through mid. There's been like one of 3 places they've always pushed for. Finally, they just go directly out the tunnels, and what do you know, it works.
It's probably not a play that they can mix and repeat too much on, though, because I feel like TQM will pretty much have the number on this strat. Yeah. But at least they did get a bomb plant. Problem is, they couldn't stop the retake. So it's all well and good getting on the site. Has been defused, though, from the Danes, and they take a 5-2 lead. Titan will be hungry to get back on the site. They've got enough economy to buy back up again if they so choose. It will be at the cost of some grenades. How much do they want an AWP, really, is the question right now. How much do they want Smiths to run an AWP on this map? The answer is quite a lot. So they're going to just go for the Deagles and Kevlar.
TQM just so casually getting that retake, too. That's the thing, is like Titan almost like throwing their players away. Like they had them all separated, thinking that they could just hold things off on their own. So it's weird that they get such a good position in TQM. It's such a long rotate to actually get into that site once again, but they just like walk over Titan. It's a bit unfortunate to see, but Smith at the very least picks up 1 kill here in the 8th round. Very quickly it's traded back out by Cajun as he finds a nice op connection shot out of him, shutting him down before he can get any further past those mid doors. With 2 remaining players from Titan, looks like they're going to try to work their way either through mid doors or work their way back up on a cat. So the Existence is pushing this now. He tries to circumnavigate to get himself back down to the CT area, but Zipix is well aware of that and is able to catch him before he can successfully take down Cajun. Oh,
flash.
And that shot from Dupree too to finish it off.
Get served, sir. But this is the reason they went for the eco, so that we could have a, well, it wasn't really an eco, kind of a half buy. You get this very solid buy up of 2 AWPs in actual fact. I was wondering if they wanted the 1, they actually want 2. Makes a lot of sense on Dust 2, so we've got 4 AWPs in total. On the usual suspects, you'd expect to have them. I should say that. Carrigan doesn't have the AWP. So instead, Dev is going to take that for himself. Carrigan using the AWP on other maps, of course. But back to basics right now, maybe for Titan. Back to the slower pushes. You know, just hanging outside of the B tunnels. Very standard setup here, though, from TQM. This is pretty much what we know from them. Seeing Dust 2 plenty of times from them in the past. This is the setup that they're known for.
And Shots, basically has the angle versus Devi, but completely messes that one up, unfortunately. And Devi's going to be able to line it up against him almost immediately after that one. Missing it by like just a pixel or 2 to the right, as he didn't flick enough there. So that's going to take him down. And this has become a problem now for Titan. The last map, here's the thing, is that TQM were constantly like being aggressive and we're constantly pushing into the angles. Titan is trying to look for that again here on Dust 2, without ever being given that opportunity. Now they have to like just purely get entry fries to find ways into the site. And that doesn't seem to be something that they're very good at. RPK, again, just as he gets the first entry of the round here, is like so far proving himself to be one of the only players on this team that can consistently do that on this map. Whereas the others are having so much trouble doing that because they were so potent on the last map, and just because TQM got so aggressive. Now they're hiding back, they're playing much more passively, and it's working out so much better for TQM.
Yeah, and fairness to RPK, has been a consistent factor as well in the previous maps. He has been, I mean, Smiths has had flurries of brilliance, but RPK has been, you know, consistently just chugging along, getting fragged. Bomb's gone down. Oh, we're going to see another successful retake from TQM. So far, they have picked up the 1 frag. The Molotov's doing a lot of damage. It forces RPK out into the open, and Carrigan dispatches him with haste. There's Cajun B. And another retake is successful from TQM. And that is going to be their 4th defuse so far on their CT side.
So TQM now saving all the big guns here, able to rebuy. So again, this is the thing here too, is that they haven't really gotten themselves to like a really stable position, but Titan are just barely showing us anything right now.
Yeah, it's just kind of predictable, I feel.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it, like without going into too much detail. Is it's like very easy to see where exactly Titan are going to press their forces to, because again, like on Train that can work to a certain degree because the like actual entry points for the site are not so far away from the site itself, and that you can take control of it so quickly. But it doesn't happen here on Dust. You have a much longer battle to actually get control of the site, which you basically have to do and then get the plant down, where we didn't see Titan doing that as much back on the previous map on Train, which could be part of the reason as to why they actually went for the pick towards it. Now they actually have to work for this, and unfortunately, because of their problems finding entries, we're very, very rarely seeing them get the plant in the first place. Actually, no, they're pretty consistently getting the plant, but the problem is they're just, you know, post plants are just horrific, it seems, for these guys. As in almost all the duels TQM are winning.
even if they get the plant, it's normally that they're pretty much battered and bruised and don't have many grenades to fend off the retake. Whereas TQM still have incendiaries, flashes, nades, everything really. And that's been maybe the determining factor so far on these retakes. Titan again, trying to sell this fake. And this is what I was going to say before. Maybe a couple of fakes would throw off TQM to an extent. They pushed 2 players onto B. They've both been successful with frags, and that's drawing out Zipex now. You can see he's instantly trying to rotate. CsGo lands the shot. And what's the play from Titan here? If they're not careful, they're going to get caught on the rotation from Zipex. Smith has been picked off. The second player goes down as well. And the bomb has been dropped. Titan, surely not going to let this round slip away from you as well. This was a 4-on-2.
And there's Kerrigan, has that flank lined up perfectly. The bomb's dead on the ground. Shocks. He's got to save, or he's got to just go die right now. He's actually stuck in this site, so it's actually probably wiser to look for a death, and that's what he's going to find at the hands of Kerrigan, who, again, very smart about that. Knows exactly the play that Titan are going to work towards, so just wraps around, gets himself into a position to counter out the rotation, stops the bomb before it can even get to the site itself, and all that progress Titan made getting control of the B site is just made null by that point right there.
Also, I think I need to correct myself. I don't think it was a 4-on-2. I think it was a 5 versus 3, and then a 4v3 briefly. But the point still stands that from that point, Titan, like, honestly should have converted that round. Those are the kind of rounds, if you want to beat TQM on Dust 2, those are the rounds that you have to convert. It's inexcusable from that point. They got both kills on B site as Cajun B opens up, and then they try to rotate, but it was kind of too slow. It wasn't like indecision comes to mind here, Blue, about that last round. But anyway, it's Deagle's pretty much the name of the game for Titan, and they've locked 2 of them so far. So Scream, Shocks, and Existence have a tall ask ahead of them, and Shocks can't do anything from his position of long.
And again, they're pushing out towards Cat, but they know this is coming from a mile away because they had someone playing aggressively towards the mid doors. This is a good shot from Scream, take down Zipix, but he's brought down to 17 HP in the process of getting that kill. So quick trade from Kerrigan, and the Devi coming in again, shuts out Existence.
I'm just trying to think of what Titan can do differently here, honestly. They don't seem to be getting many avenging frags either. That's been a consistent kind of problem, I would say, with this best of 3.
Like, it doesn't seem like there is, especially towards mid doors, there's a lot of people playing it up close to where the T's are going to be positioned on TQM, but we're barely seeing Titan able to do anything to try and punish that. Like they're not trying to molly and force the back. They're not trying to fake flash to hopefully throw them off a little bit there. They're not even really trying to. It doesn't even honestly seem like they're trying to throw that many fake smokes or anything to throw them off guard a little bit. They're trying to just waltz right out into these sites, and because of the fact that besides RPK, most of these guys don't really seem to be able to get good entries, they're just getting shut down in almost every single round, and most of the time too, because of the fact that the more aggressive players on TQM aren't punished. They already know where the play is going to happen before it even happens.
Well, maybe if they can just get raw entry frags, that's one way of sorting some of these problems out. Cajun B somehow still alive, even though he's getting shot at from 2 different players, just jumping to safety almost. They can come back and maybe make Titan do those missed opportunities. Bomb has been planted though. I feel RPK's days are numbered. He is going to get picked off from behind. Are we going to see yet another retake coming in? Cajun B is just waiting for that little shoulder to peek across, and he gets the frag onto Smiths, and now the retake is in full effect. Full swing. Existence going to hold down with Shoxy though. Dupree comes in, finally gets the headshot on. There is defuse kits as well. Kerrigan, the last remaining player, Shocks. He's on short. The bomb is planted for him right now. There's the first tap, but he's looking for the second. Kerrigan gets picked off. Beautiful work from Shocks. And finally, Titan hold on to a site they planted on.
Very, very rough job of doing this, though, as they lose a lot of players in the process, despite having almost like an iron grip on it. Or TQM, you saw them shifting away. It almost looked like they were going to save for a moment, but they had the odds to do it, and they almost managed to pull that one off. So a bit of a close one. The good thing there from Titan that we saw is that they actually speed up the play so much more than we saw in so many more previous rounds, and that in some of the previous ones, they gave TQM time to figure out what was going on. This time they didn't, and they were caught off guard a little bit by it. This time, though, it's far too direct. They're walking out against 2 players continuously, and I think the first one out has the bomb, so they have no choice but to follow suit to try and retrieve that, and that ends very, very badly, of course, because now they're just TQM, they're just going to get the round response, and for Titan, their economy is going to reset.
Yeah, almost worst case scenario there for Titan. They finally claw around back, you finally keep onto the site, and then you just go and lose almost instantaneously afterwards. You can see the effect that's had on their economy here, Blue. I mean, 3 players who are floating around 1500 and below, so they're just going to go for the force. It's going to be the Eagles, AK, see what they can get done here, see if they can bring this back to 10-5. That may be workable. it's going to be rough. Then again, I find myself saying that on train and they bounce back, so who knows?
This is looking very snowball-y at this point is the problem. And that we're seeing like more and more, I hate to call them novice, but like more and more like novice mistakes like that being made from Titan, like as this game progresses. It's just like we're not seeing really a whole lot of improvement in regards to them trying to counter out what TQM is doing. It just seems to be like divulging into a worse and worse territory, unfortunately. So it may end up being a fairly quick third map here and push TQM onto the finals. But we'll see, because maybe at halftime they can take a moment to recenter themselves, and the CT side could look that much better, especially for players like Smiths, who unfortunately we haven't really been seeing that dominant of a performance from him on this map like we have on some of the others.
I just feel that Titan just have been able to get the cohesion going down that we saw on train, and to a lesser extent overpass as well. They haven't really had too many set plays down. They haven't been able to smoke off the short pushes that we've seen from TQM. And again, they're just kind of walking into the crosshairs. Yes, they've got poor weaponry. Can they get anything done with these Deagles? Not looking likely. It's all on Shocks now. He gets picked off as well. Only Cajun B survives. Or dies, I should say, for TQM. Why is that so hard for me to say?
It's horrible, man.
TQM. It's just 3 letters.
I want their new org to be announced.
Make it something easy, please.
Soon. It's a secret. As their question mark name would imply. So, Titan unfortunately not putting themselves into a spot where they are really able to go for the big like AK buy as of yet. And already one of their players has been shut down too. They spot that they're moving out through middle. They expect more players to come from tunnels, which is actually wrong. But this smoke is going to give away the mid play. This is actually good because they are trying to trick them a little bit here, especially with the player pushing out from middle. And the flash even tricked them a little bit more here too. But they're going to start pushing up onto Cat. 2 of them have already been shut down. Existence looking for a Deagle lineup. He's not going to be able to find it. And again, this becomes the big problem. They don't have any guns to work this. Now they've been boxed in. They can't even run away and try to rotate to another site. Scream picking up 1, but I don't think they're expecting this play to come back up. Cajun B almost lining up the double kill with the ops. But he is going to get it anyway there. Just going to take 2 shots instead of 1. And the first half here of the third map is going to end 12-3 in the favor of TQM.
Honestly, not too much to talk about there. TQM just seem to have woken up. You know, from their past poor performances on the previous 2 maps, like Titan have just been out-aimed, outgunned, out-positioned, out-maneuvered, everything, just getting destroyed left, right, and center. And I'm curious if, even if they can pick this pistol round up, if they're going to be able to do anything with it, or if they're just going to kind of falter out. I also wondered how much these pauses were going to affect the 2 teams, and maybe the teams are getting tired as well, man.
Yeah, that's what really sucks about this, because, like, I mean, like, what we saw on Overpass was like a really, really good set, and it seemed like it was going to continue. But I think like all the you even saw how loopy like you and I were getting, like all the pauses and whatnot. I think it's just completely thrown this game by the wayside, unfortunately. And I don't think we're seeing like the true result of what this game could have been had there hadn't been so many technical issues with the server.
Yeah, agreed, for sure.
Because I think there's like a very real chance Titan could have won this set.
They seem kind of lost on their T side. And now, you know, maybe they can salvage somewhat and start to bounce back and build foundations or something on their CT side, but they've left themselves at such a huge deficit that even if they do, only a couple of mistakes and they're down and out, but it seems they're going to hold on fast to the site. Shocks with 2 beautiful headshots, in fact 3 in total. RPK last player is going to be tapping Zipex from a long range on long itself, and Titan have picked up the pistol round, but what can they do with this?
That's going to be the big question, is how exactly do they evolve it, and how exactly do TQM choose to punish this, because TQM brutalized, I think, just how far Titan have fallen away from the prowess that they were showcasing in some of these previous matches as well. And keeping this in mind, if they're able to just upset them here in the second round, it might be time for Titan to start packing, as that would be a huge deficit to them, not just in terms of their economy, but really in terms of like their morality at this point too, with them being so far behind.
The scouts in for Zipex here, Blue. I feel like that's probably the gateway for TQM to actually win this round. I need Zipex to land some shots here.
It's going to be the question of whether he can connect the opening shots back over here, though. Just trying to check who exactly is going to be resisting him. And it's actually going to be Smiths if he would have gone through with the cat push, but it looks like they're shifting away from this one now. They're trying to work their way all together now, pressing out from mid connector. Or just through middle, apologies. but not going too successfully. 3 out of 5 of their players are dead. Another one is stuck back over here on Cat. Zipix is down at 8 HP. The bomb may actually be in an irretrievable position. And in fact, you've actually got Existence sitting up here too. So Titan actually do manage to hold it together, which is good. And only lose 2 out of 5 of the players as well. I was expecting that, with the way it was looking at the start of that, I was expecting that to go a lot worse. But they recover and actually do manage to hold on to it quite nicely.
Yeah, it was a big test. Definitely a big test from Titan. Again, though, TQM have such a long, huge deficit that Titan need to bridge. Oh, that nade, though, lands right next to the feet of Karrigan. RPK is also going to come into. Pre gets the frag back, so that's going to keep things a little bit more interesting maybe for the Danes to push onto the site. But they have a deagle in the hands of KGB as well. We've seen what he's capable of doing before. But Shox with that MP9. Holding the angle here, it's going to be tough to get past. Smiths is also snaking his way from behind, so without any more smokes or flashes, crossing here is almost an impossibility, I would say. How do you even fathom the opportunity to try and get through here? The grenades are coming through, they try and get a stack to catch off some CTs, may push them. They at least get the frag onto Shox, but that's all. And Titan have got their 6th round, but here come the AKs.
And now we have the big test too, because Karrigan is also going to invest in the op. But it's the same story for Smiths as he has this to party with too. So finally, honestly, like, we didn't even really see the op-on-op battle, but we might actually have the potential to see it here, as it looks like the opper from the side of TQM is sitting back up on top, but it's going to be Karrigan that wins the duel there, finding a nice connecting shot. Look at Smiths. You can even see
they're hungry for frags, they're hungry to try and bring this game back, but TQM was so passive, like, they constantly sat back and waited, and we were discussing how hard it was for Titan to even get picks, to even get avenging frags. But Titan have effectively just gift wrapped 2 kills across to the Danes, so now they almost don't have to work as hard for this round. And for me, that's the main difference so far on these CT setups. So it would almost be a miracle play from this point if Scream RPK and Shox can pull this out the fire.
Sorry again about the board cutting out, guys. There's an audio problem. There's a power issue that's cutting out the USB connection to my PC. So that's my bad. Fixing it pretty quick, though. And again, TQM, with those big guns, able to shut this down very quickly. It's just Scream left alive. And he's completely detached as well from the actual play. So he wants to run away and save this up. But he may not even be able to do that, because take a look at Cajun B. He may get himself a nice opportunity to take him down right about now.
Be a pretty important weapon to save, but he's got 3 different angles coming his way. He actually did tag that first player, who I think was Dupree, through the doors. So a nice little shot there, but obviously it's nowhere near good enough. And our Titan, their worst nightmares have been realised. Got enough for an AWP here on Existence. An M4, there could be a FAMAS picked up for Smiths, maybe, if he's feeling it. No, they can actually drop an M4 across, so a better buy than I originally thought, but still pretty poor. In a sense, no defuse kits and a distinct lack of grenades, plus only 2 pistols with Kevlar behind it. So for me, this is where TQM could definitely just wrap this best of 3 up.
Titan still putting that very aggressive hold back over towards long. They move away from it after there's no huge initial push over towards that avenue of attack, but TQM again, and this is another big comparison towards Titan that we can make too, is that TQM are just so much more spread out and so much more diverse with the way that they're playing this T side. Now this could be a bad thing technically, but it is causing a split up from the side of Titan too, whereas previously with the way Titan was playing their T side, they would all just like stack up in middle, and as soon as like one member of TQM got aggressive, even if he died, he would more than likely find out where the play was going to go to based on the positioning of all those players. With everyone from TQM being so spread out at the beginning of the round, it's really not possible for Titan to do that. They have to win a battle and then even push like beyond that just to get that info to begin with.
Well, the information that's definitely been gathered now from Smiths, at least, as the Molotovs come through in the flashes. He knows this is an A play.
Heavy.
Shox is waiting, and we'll get the frag, but then gets traded out. I think he's hoping that a 2nd or 3rd player may even push through so we get a double or triple. But now, here comes the issue. Seeing the weaponry reign supreme from the terrorists. The bomb's been planted, and they'll just want to save this. All hope is lost for this round, at least for Titan. So that's going to be a 14-6 deficit, and as good as Titan are and as well as they played today, I can't see them coming back from this lead right now, Blue. I'm not sure if you'd agree with that, but how do they even think about this?
It's looking like I have to agree with you on that. It's too far gone. Like, honestly, at the half, it seemed like it was a little bit too far gone. It's good that they start things off and they're able to pick up the first 3 rounds, but immediately losing the gun round does not inspire much confidence, and losing this second one too, especially losing a lot of the guns they invested for. They bought 3 big guns this time. The op, which is thankfully still in the hands of Existence, but there was, if I remember correctly, there was 2 M4s also in the picture, which are now gone with no hope of retrieval. Oh, actually, they did just get 1. So they, at the very least, managed to scavenge like 66% of the weapons. But still, the rest of this team now is going to be broke this round. And they really can't afford to go for a big investment this time, as TQM probably going to be looking at their match point here in just a few moments. And that is part of the course for what Titan is buying for as well. They'll try to resist it as much as they can, but they really just can't afford to go for a big buy anymore.
Yeah, it's all or nothing right now. Go big or go home for Titan. Weaponry is still good enough, and we've already seen half buys like this, or force buys, I guess I should say, prevail. The Dust 2 is a completely different beast, a completely different animal, especially on the CT side. The terrorists can just kind of poke and probe you until they find the weakness, and then pounce on that. It's much more of a strategic map in that sense. But there it is coming up. RPK is one of the players with a main weapon, with the M4, but that Molotov, is it going to spread to him? No, I think he's actually safe behind that box for now, so he should be okay. He doesn't have to show himself. He doesn't have to move into Carrigan's crosshair. He does have backup as well. So this early setup from Titan definitely could pay out. Oh, Smith is going to peek and he's going to die. And that's the AWP down. They are able to retrieve, but actually fell down towards CT. But Carrigan gets the second man. There's the smoke as well. Shox is going to try and stop this off. He is one of the secondary AWPers for Titan. So it's going to fall to anyone. You probably like it to be him. And they're looking for the elevator boost up right now as well. He screams, shows his head, gets tagged. Not fragged just yet. 20 HP. He's going to go for the jumping jack headshots. Can't land it. And Titan again just back away.
They're going to give it up. Nothing they can do to resist that. They've been forced out of the site. And that's the big key there, is control. TQM so much better at gaining it against the members of Titan than the vice versa that we saw in the previous half. Now, Shox picks up at least 1 kill as he tries to keep this off alive. That's the biggest thing, is if they can keep that big gun in the mix for what's maybe going to be the final round, then if that power is used properly, there may still be a chance for them to stop it. However, more than likely, if it's just going to be this gun, considering the fact that we really haven't seen like an amazing performance with the op as of yet from like any of the players on Titan, it's probably not going to be enough. They need way more than this. They just went for a pretty big force. They still have some money in. Oh, they just lost it as well. So there we go. All the guns are gone. Biggest thing they're going to have is maybe a FAMAS force on a couple of these guys, but most of them can't even afford that.
Yeah. You dead on. RPK does pick up the FAMAS, but everyone else the pistols, so they can get the additional grenades and of course the Kevlar as well with the defuse kit. Gives them the best possible chance at success here. Kind of sad that this best of 3, which if you take the pauses out of it, has been pretty 6 CS. We have seen some crazy things occur. It's going to end on a bit of a whimper, a bit of a sour note for Titan.
A very sour end to a 5-hour-long best of 3 set.
Yeah, 5-hour long.
In 5 minutes, it will have been 5 hours.
Damn. Here we go, though. Carrigan pushing on through. What's he going to get?
Taking a look at it now, TQM actually held back a little bit because I actually don't even think they're entirely sure as to what exactly they're going to be able to invest towards. But Scream, great job from him at the beginning, picking up 2, looking for the 3rd here as well. And a Zipnix, he lines it up. Those headshots are absolutely crazy that he's able to find. And now he's got the op too. He's getting lit up though, and he's flashed as well. Doesn't really know where he is, but oh, he takes down Zipnix through the metal door, shuts him out. There's Devi though, finding a response to it as he shuts down RPK back inside of the pit. The T's are slowly falling, and Titan, they may not be done just as of yet, as they are keeping themselves alive, at least in this round.
Alive for now, yeah. Absolutely. A valiant attempt here at the death of this map. To be fair, they could definitely still hold on to this one. They've got the AWP in play. That's on Scream, and he is up in the window, I believe. So for now, he's definitely more interested on mid, but now he's dropped down, and the first player runs into the AWP or Scream into a brick wall. Misses the second shot. He's never going to pounce on this. No, Scream switches to the 5-7 and delivers the headshot. So Titan on 7 now, but 8 more rounds required for another overtime. What do you reckon? We have 3 separate maps that go to overtime in a row.
No. I think Envious would be very angry. So, and like enemies are probably already angry. Because what are we, 2 hours past the scheduled start time of the finals?
Yeah, well, right now it's 11 p.m. UK time, so it'll be midnight for the guys in France. So yeah, that's pretty rough.
They have flights tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Which is part of the reason why we're playing the finals tonight.
Oh yeah, to get to the Star Ladder series. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this one now. The full investment back into the mix now for both teams, actually. Titan winning that one out without having the fullest extent of the buy that they could have gotten. And TQM, still plenty of money left in the bank with how dominant they've been here. And again, just spreading out. Titan are doing the same thing to counteract that. However, more times than not, TQM's sort of positioning has ended up working out over that from Titan. And we can see them now just slowly working towards it, waiting for an opportunity to find their way in towards the site. And they're going to move forward here in just a few minutes, looking like it's probably going to end up being something along a mid to B split, but that could change very quickly, as they have found one kill from the CT side, but Kerrigan does find the entry into the B site now, and here's Scream too. Nice shot from him, shutting down KGB. He knows there's more coming, but he can't connect the headshots onto any more of these players. They've already got full control of it, working their way in. You've got 2 more players from Titan that have to rotate all the way from deep in that A site, and not just this, but Shocks, he already committed in for some reason too. He didn't wait for the reinforcements, so that might have just screwed it right there. As now it's down to a 2 versus 3. Kerrigan, one of the final frags, and in fact he picks up the final one there too. 16-7 is the final map score. The guys from XTSM/TQM are moving on into the grand finals.
I think